Welcome back to the channel, everybody. While I'm editing this video right now, I realized that I never introduced the tent. So this is the Thule Ruggedized Kukenam 3. It's a very hefty name, but it is an awesome tent. I have had the privilege of owning it for 2 years now, and I love it. Hopefully I answer all of your questions and things like that in this video. I'm going to go through the setup of it, the teardown of it, and all of the specs, so all of the science and everything that's behind how they built this tent. But again, if you have any questions, just comment down below, and I hope you enjoy the video.
We basically believe in the basic concept, and that is that every day we need to make the most of it, and this is part of how we do it.
So first off, with this tent, there's a cover that covers the entire thing just to keep all the moisture out. There are 2 straps here that I have to undo, and then there's a zipper that goes around 3/4 of it. On this side, it's not connected because the cover will come over and hang off the side, and then you can roll it up while you're using the tent. So on either side, there are 2 straps that hold the entire tent together. As you can see when I put it away, I make sure it's really tight and tucked so it fits underneath that cover. But I just undo these and I'll crawl on top and do the same. But at the same time, while I'm up here, I'm gonna undo the ladder and then push it out so I can grab it when I'm on the ground. So because I pushed the ladder out, now I can grab it, and it's got these little locking parts, and then I just use leverage, pull it out. This part's a little bit unnecessary, but they do add in straps so you can roll it up just so it's not hanging on the side of your truck. And yeah, so it's open now. All I have to do is just set in the poles, and then I have poles that open up the windows and everything, so I'm gonna do that real quick. So I keep these tent poles in my truck. That's what's gonna open up all of these. And then the last thing I do as well is this is a little hole just where the tent hinges, and you just want to make sure everything is tucked away, and then Velcro that so you don't have a hole going to the outside inside your tent. And then last minute things like this. These tent poles go on all 4 sides. I can only open up on this side and then where my door is, because the other side my awning's in the way, and then on the other side my truck's in the way. But otherwise you would be able to do it on all 4 points. I just got the lower truck rack, or the bed rack, so that's why my tent sits a little bit lower and then I can't implement the poles. But it's really not that big of a deal to me. I still get a good cross breeze anyway. Alright, and that's basically how I set up my tent. It's pretty easy, I think, in the grand scheme of things. If I didn't record, it'd probably take me about 5 to 7 minutes to set it up, and then it takes me about 7 to 10 minutes to break it down, which I'll show you all later when we're done camping. So I wanted to show y'all one thing I did upgrade, I guess, which is the zipper pull. So the zipper pull came with a really short one, and I had a really hard time pulling the zipper, especially when it's up against the window and in between my awning. As you can see, I only have about a hand's width here, and then between my truck, same. So I put in a longer zipper pull so it was easier to grab, and then I just tie it down when I'm driving. But I would say it's about, I don't know, about 1.5 feet long, and I think this has really helped me a lot. Now I will show y'all the inside of my tent. So as y'all can see, this really awesome feature that this tent has, which is the retractable ladder, you can see that there's multiple rungs here because you can actually extend the ladder to be longer and come out more. I like mine pretty vertical, so this is how I keep mine. And then the other thing I wanted to show you is these eyelets that are on the doors. So there's vertical zippers that go from the top to the bottom here, and then there's a mesh screen on the inside as well. So you can connect those eyelets up there where I'd put the rainfly if you want this to be open as well. Usually I like to keep it closed unless I want to let air through, then I'll open it. But let's go ahead and get up into the tent and I'll show you the inside. Alright guys, so I opened up the tent. As you can see, you can roll up both the screen and the door like a regular tent. And I did open up this window just so you can kind of see through. Like I said earlier, this is the Kukenam 3. 3 means 3 people can sleep in it. It's more comfortable for 2 in my opinion, but if you wanted to pack 3 people in, you could. So this is just a little buckle to keep the pad down. There's one thing that I absolutely love about these tents is the pad that's built in. It just takes a lot of that like uncomfortability of tent camping and kicks it up a notch. As you can also see, there are rods that hold up the tent. I've been in really windy storms and this tent would not budge. Also, all of the seals, I don't know if you can see that, but are completely waterproofed. And then the material, which I'll put up on the screen here, is a super durable material, which makes it the ruggedized off-road version. Like I said, you can open up those, but because I have stuff in the way and I didn't get a taller bed rack, I can't. But I'm not really too worried about that because, like I said, I get a good cross breeze between here. And then there are pockets all over this thing. There's pockets on the side, up here, and then as you can see, there's little hooks here. I have a little lantern light that I keep in here at all times. That's really useful. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my sleeping bags and everything in here, and you can kind of see what it looks like just for one person to sleep in here, which is what I'm doing tonight. Alright, and here's my sleeping bag. This is just my summer sleeping bag. I have 2 of these, and you can actually unzip them and then zip them together to make them a double sleeping bag. But since it's just me tonight in here, I'm just gonna set this one up. My luxury item, which is always just a regular pillow, and then I have this awesome down blanket that packs down into this tiny little bag that I keep in here. Sometimes if it gets cold, usually under about 40 degrees, then I will put this inside my sleeping bag with me. But otherwise, this is my tent, and this is how I set it up. Alright y'all, so I've officially set the entire tent up, put my sleeping bag and everything away, so now I can sleep. But the last 2 things I wanted to mention is the insulated fiberglass base that is in this tent. Not only does that help reduce weight, but it also creates warmth, which in a normal tent you tend to lose a lot of heat on the bottom since there's usually just one sheet. I have a diamond plate, like I said, the insulated fiberglass base, and then I also have that pad and then my sleeping bag. So I find it pretty warm. Like I said, those seals are waterproofed as well, so it's super airtight. These tents do have kind of some trouble with condensation buildup, which you can buy a kit to help with that as well. If you want tips on reducing condensation buildup, let me know. Me and my dad have some awesome tips to help reduce that. And then the other thing that I have to mention is the UV and mold resistant construction that is in this tent. Like I said, I spent a little bit more money on a nicer tent for a lot of these reasons. It's ruggedized, so it's super durable. It's a really nice tent that's going to last me a long time. And then it has a couple specs like the telescopic ladder, the insulated base, and so on and so forth. So I really love this tent. I think it's really awesome. If you're interested or have any more questions, put them down in the comments. I'd be more than happy to answer them. And then I will show you all the rest of my setup here in a little bit. So that concludes the end of our trip, so it's time for me to pack up my tent. There's a few things that I like to do just to ensure that I can close the tent properly. As you saw in the beginning of the video, I have to put that entire cover over the top and make sure everything's kind of cinched in and then doesn't get caught in the zipper. So I'm going to show you some of my tips since I've closed this a handful of times now. And yeah, I'm just going to walk you through that. So first, I need to take the poles out and then anchor everything down so I can close it. Something also to remember is you want to make sure that these are completely unvelcroed and tucked up. I like to tuck mine underneath, that way it doesn't get caught, because this is where the tent hinges. This is on both sides to make sure that everything's not going to be in the way once you go to close that tent. And then I also like to pull up the corners. As you can see, it's tucked around the corner, and that way the zipper won't get in the way or anything else for that matter. Now that everything is squared away, I'm going to take the ladder and I'm going to use the levers to push it up and then push it closed, and then I'll have to get on top and tuck everything in and then strap it away. So as you can see, the tent kind of sticks out here. So I'm going to get up and kind of lift it and tuck it all in so it doesn't get stuck when we're trying to zip it. And then as you can see, the tent comes with these flaps and there's straps on this side and the other side. So what I like to do is tuck it in as much as possible and then put that strap in and cinch it down and just make sure everything's tucked so it doesn't get caught. As you can see here, I got this part caught in the zipper because we didn't tuck it away properly, and then it took me 30 minutes to get it out of the zipper. So closing it properly matters a lot. There's also a strap that helps close the ladder. Now once the cover's on, the ladder's not going to move, but I like to close it and just make sure it's secured, not going to move around so it doesn't wear on the inside of my cover. They do make replacement covers just in case they ever wear down, but I don't want to buy a new one if I don't have to. And then I'm going to strap down and tuck everything in on the other side like I did on this side. This side doesn't have straps, but I do like to make sure everything's tucked under those flaps just in case, so when I go to put the cover on, again, it just doesn't get stuck. If you strap everything down correctly, you'll be able to really slide this over really easily. Now, if it's really difficult, there's two things I would say. Is one, make sure everything is tucked and strapped down as tight as possible. And two, with the first year that I had this, I had a really hard time closing it. So over the winter when I didn't use it, I put 2 sleeping bags in and then took all of my might to close it so I could try to stretch it out. I have no clue if that really worked, but it is easier for me to close now, so it might have. Alright, then the zipper starts this way, so all you have to do is just connect the zipper, and then as I said earlier in the video, I put a longer pull on it. That way I can also get better leverage so I can pull farther. The shorter it was, I couldn't get underneath it enough in order to pull the zipper closed. Don't try to force it though, it should go pretty easily. Also, what I like to do is I fold up the corner of this flap so I can really get into the zipper. The corners are going to be the hardest part, but if you do that, it should help quite a bit. now it's closed. Now, obviously, you don't have to climb over the top of it like I did. I just do because I'm not very tall and I'm not very strong, so I don't have those advantages, so I have to use my leverage. I also use the weight of my body to kind of squish the tent down so I can close it. And then as you saw, I was kind of putting my hand in just to make sure that the tent didn't get caught on the zipper. Like I said earlier, it gets caught a lot, so it can be kind of an issue. But overall, it's about how long it takes. Obviously, I time-lapsed it, but I think it takes me, without recording and all of that, about 5 to 7 minutes to close it. So yeah, if you have any questions, comment down below. And then if you like these videos, like, subscribe, turn the bell on for notifications, and let me know what you think. Also, at the end, I will link this specific tent down in the description, so if you're interested in it or want to look at it some more, you're more than welcome to. Thanks for joining me, guys, and I will see you later. Bye. I'm like out of breath trying to talk.